G'day and welcome back to the AFL Fantasy 360 Tips and Tricks channel. In this video I'll be discussing the best midfielder rookies for your AFL Fantasy side in 2020. There are many factors that you should consider when picking rookies in your fantasy side, including the obvious being selected in round 1, their scoring in juniors and in the seconds, as well as role in the team and their job security as well. So to make this list, I have factored in mostly scoring capability at junior level and in the seconds, and also their likeliness to play in round 1 for their respective clubs. So we'll get into it, and the first player on this list is a pretty obvious choice in Matt Rowell. So I won't talk too much about him because everyone knows how good he is already. He was the number 1 draft pick last year, and his numbers were actually even better than Sam Walsh in the under-18s competitions. I haven't got his stats in the picture, unfortunately, but he averaged 102 in the under-18s champs and 124 in the state league in 2019. So to put that into perspective, Sam Walsh averaged 112 in both those competitions in 2018. So we shouldn't expect him to reach the same heights as Walsh, but there are many similarities with the two. And he will slot straight into the Suns midfield, and I expect him to average low 70s at absolute worst, but honestly, he could push that average up to the 80 mark. So definitely lock him into your side and just enjoy the ride. The next player on this list is Caleb Sarong. So Sarong is a big-bodied inside mid who played for Victoria at under 18s level. He was pick 6, I believe, in the 2019 draft, and he put up great numbers at under 18s level. As seen in the picture, he averaged 115 in the under-18 champs and 100 at the state league level. He's been training as an inside mid and forward during trainings and match sim for Freo, so he's shown he's a capable scorer, so watch him very closely during the Marsh series. His role at this stage is a half-forward type of role with some stints in the midfield, so he needs midfield time to score. So yeah, definitely a Marsh series watch and a great option who I can see averaging around the low 70s provided he does get that midfield time. Moving on to the next player is Marlon Pickett, another obvious choice, and I've discussed him many times in previous videos, so I won't bore you too much discussing him again, but he's a basement price rookie who we've already got a look at AFL level. Obviously during the grand final, he'll get good mid-time at the Tigers, and he'll average around the mid-60s, I reckon, maybe down to the high 50s at very worst. So lock him in. He's safe to play on the field at this stage. And we'll move on to the next player. So next up, we've got Devon Robertson. He was a draft slider in 2019 who was picked up by Brisbane at pick 22. He got the medal for the best player in the under-18s champs, I believe. So as you can see on screen, he put up some great numbers in the under-18s competitions, averaging 113 in the under-18s champs and 120 in the state league. So not sure if he'll get games early at the Lyons, but if he does, he's almost a lock considering his junior numbers. In saying that, job security would be an issue in selecting him, with obviously Brisbane having very strong midfield depth on their list. So keep an eye on him and his potential role through the Marsh series. And if he's picked round 1, which fingers crossed he is, then he's going to be very hard to pass up, even at that inflated price. So the next player we're going to discuss is Noah Anderson. So the number 2 draft pick in 2019 has gone to the Suns, obviously, along with his best mate, Matt Rowell. Anderson, along with Rowell, will slot straight into the Suns' best 22, I believe, from round 1, providing he's fit. So he's not as big of an accumulator as Rowell, but I can see him spending some time forward as well, despite being a midfielder, just due to the Suns' midfield depth. So if you had to pick one of Anderson and Rowell, you'd go Rowell by a country mile for sure, but if you had the cash and you wanted to spend up for Noah Anderson at M7 or M8, then it's definitely not a bad option. Although in saying that, I think there are probably better options for a slightly cheaper price for a rookie. But in saying that, again, I believe Anderson's job security is as good as anyone's, and he's going to push the 70 mark as an average. That's a very conservative average. He's probably going to get more than that, but depending on his forward time. And he's a very viable midfield rookie option if that's the way you want to go. The next player we've got on the list is Corey Lyons from the Brisbane Lions. So he's yet to debut after 3 seasons on Brisbane's list. But he has produced some monster fantasy numbers in the NEAFL over the years. So highlighted by an impressive 116 average in the NEAFL this year. So so he played in the A team in the Lions' latest intra-club game and will be pushing for senior selection at some point this year. He is on the rookie list after being delisted and redrafted at the end of 2019, which does make his chances of around one debut even less likely. But in saying that, he will pop up at some point in the season, I'm sure, and he will be a great downgrade target if he does. So yeah, again, wait and see on selection in round 1, and if he does play, then definitely lock him in at either M8 or on the bench in your fantasy side. Moving on to the second last player on the list, and that's Hamish Bradshaw. Now, similar to Lyons, Bradshaw is coming into his 3rd season at the Eagles and is yet to make his debut. So, despite impressive numbers in the juniors and in the waffle in the previous couple of years. So, with the Eagles midfield brigade only getting stronger with the addition of Tim Kelly, there's more depth there now. It's going to take something special for Hamish to break into the side. But he did produce 100 points per game on average in the waffle in 2019, and also he averaged 114 in the state league in his draft year. So he can score, but the opportunity is going to be an issue, I feel. And even if he does squeeze into the side at some point, his job security will never be certain, but he could be a good downgrade option during the season. So his scoring at junior level and in the waffle definitely makes him worth the punt if you are wanting to bring him into your side whenever he can break through for a game. But yeah, he's definitely going to obviously need to be named in the side first, and we'll have to get a look at him in the Marsh series as well. The last player on the list is Jack Bytel from the Saints. So Bytel was a draft steal for the Saints, who actually landed him at pick 41 after previously being touted as a top 10 pick in 2018, I believe. So yeah, Bytel missed all of 2019 with stress fractures in his back, but has completed a full preseason so far and has impressed the new Saints coach, Brent Ratton. He's an inside mid who is ready to step up to AFL level in 2020, and his scoring at junior level has been good but not great. He averaged 88 at state league level, so the Saints obviously were busy during the trade period as well, bringing in a number of new faces. So whether Jack can squeeze into the Saints team early will be interesting to see. And his role through the Marsh series will be one to watch as well, as we definitely need to see him playing midfield for him to be a justifiable selection. But if he is named round 1, he's definitely could easily slot onto your bench in the midfield. So before we finish the video, there's a few special mentions I want to give to players unlucky to miss this list. That includes Luke Valenti from Freo, Ned McHenry from the Crows, and also Dylan and Cooper Stevens from Sydney and Geelong respectively. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, including the best rookie picks for the forward line and also the Rucks, which will be released in the coming days before the the Marsh series now starts. So hopefully they will be released on the Thursday. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video. Cheers.